Always a ride.
I want to know what you guys thought after 18 years of seeing this with an audience for the first time. It plays a little differently.
It does play differently, yeah. There's laughs in different spots and complete silence in different spots. When we first, the premiere of this movie was at the Tribeca Film Festival. So that was we had no idea how this was gonna go, and it was kind of dead silent the entire time. And I had gone with my family, and I thought we were fried, screwed. It was we were a failure. And the very next day we flew to the Miami the Gay and Lesbian Film Festival where they screened it, and it was a roller coaster. And I just remember, it's for an audience. It's for a particular kind of audience who gets those jokes. It's so, the way you guys laugh at the taking the shot of poppers, they're just accidentally drinking it. The Tribeca Film Festival audience didn't quite understand what's funny about that, So yeah, it's amazing to get to hear it with the energy of you guys.
Yeah, I have my parents are here today, and my niece and new nephew, if he's still willing to be in my family. Okay, I'm getting the clap. Okay, that's good. That's a good sign. Yeah, it's wild what still does connect and what does still play. Yeah, it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot.
Hey, you know what I was wondering during the movie? As soon as I saw Graham Norton again, and I'm what are his feelings? Are you guys in touch with him still? And what are his feelings on the film? Does he?
I know, it's amazing that he did it. I can't believe he did it. And then when I spoke to him, after it, and his whole take is just I got away with it completely. He's nobody ever said anything. So.
Yeah.
Any audience questions? I know you have some.
I know I asked him one time, we screened it in Austin a couple of years ago. I was like, would you want to come to it? And he's like, oh no, you guys did all the work, I just shit on you.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, so the sex scenes. The sex scenes, we all know how to, whatever. We've all had sex, but it's a totally different thing when you're on film trying to do that. How did that go for you guys?
I think you could tell.
Yeah, you seemed into it.
All of that stuff, it's so funny, you're choreographing it with the other person and finding out what's okay and what isn't, and
it's mostly CGI. We started this movie, the ride of this movie was doing staged readings of it to raise money and excitement and awareness. So we did 3 staged readings in New York City where we're all sitting there with the scripts in our hands. Scott Thompson was there, and we were acting it out. So it was kind of a radio play, and we got so comfortable with the laughs and what we had to do, but it was just a reading. So when we got the money and then we were going to do the movie, there was kind of this moment where oh wait, now we actually have to do these scenes. And that was a bit of a shocker. And I know that the boys in the end there, they were nervous about that threesome, and that the game was to just try to find a way to make it cartoony enough and a tone that was so over the top and outrageous that it could kind of balance out the interracial double penetration three-way,
You're comfortable with that. No, we got to rehearse. We were rehearsing the movie in LA in this it was a porn studio.
That's right.
Right? That was when we had some rehearsals. So not that we were watching, but it was going on while we would be rehearsing in these little set up rooms within the studio sphere. That
Sex was in the air.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you guys get involved in the film, and how did it come into creation prior to you doing it?
I had an agent in New York at the time who got the script and had worked with Todd Stevens before on Edge of 17, and he was like, I think you'd be, it's like, up to you. It was a little different of a time, where it was just like a little like, I'm gonna show you, you don't have to, like, it's kind of a bizarre project, but like, read it and tell me what you think. And I just instantly, I read it and I was like laughing out loud on a subway, and I was like, oh my gosh, I totally get this joke. I like love this idea of like an American Pie but gay, and all the like for our audience jokes, and I was just like, I'll do it. But again, it was really auditioning for the staged reading to raise money for this movie, so it wasn't really like getting to the movie yet. I have one back here.
Yeah. Oh, well, let me answer that too, because I had a totally different experience. My agent had said, oh, check this out. And I was like, I would never be a part of something like this. I had never done a comedy before. I was like, this is just so crude, and it's like, I was just shocked, and and then it bothered me how much it bothered me. And as an artist, you want to pick up on those things to see, well, why? Why does it bother me? Why is this not okay? Why can't I laugh at this? And then I realized, oh my God, this is fucking brilliant for what this is. And then I came on board even as an executive producer to help it at that point. So, different reactions and then stepping in.
It was my first time watching this film, and I'm a proud ally and loved it. Want to find out if you guys are staying for Pride this weekend?
I can't. No, I'm not. I wish I was.
Yeah, barely. I'm leaving on Saturday.
That's close.
But
That's
yeah,
a bit.
hey, a little
Be
bit.
some fun.
If there's something to do, please let us know.
What scene took the most takes to get right?
I don't remember. And we didn't have a lot of. It was really tight budget and timeline, so we didn't really get a lot of takes. So it wasn't like there were any that I recall. The only one I remember is we were in the video store, and I know we just kept laughing through one take. We couldn't. Jonah accidentally said he was supposed to say he heard me.
He heard me.
He heard me fart.
Yeah.
He heard me fart, Dawn, was the line, and Jonah went, he heard me take a fart. And there was something about take a fart that was so funny. And I convinced Todd, I was like, that is the funniest take. It never gets a laugh. It's never gotten a laugh.
It did get a laugh tonight.
The take a fart?
Yeah, I heard someone.
Oh, okay.
I did.
But he cuts right to I think you even see like our smirk starting to go up before we like blew up laughing. And then after we blew up laughing and tried to redo that scene with the right way to say the line, we kept laughing, and he got mad because we were wasting time. But yeah.
I think I did the scene with Grandpa Muffler later, about probably like 5
10
months
years later.
Exactly.
No, it was
Where
much
was
later.
it? Yeah, it was. It was like probably I don't know. It was some months later.
In New York.
In New York, right? We shot that, and I remember like my eyes were like crying, like just watering for some reason in the scene, and we just had to keep going over and over, and that was it was like one moment that we had to hit, and we 5 months later, and the eyes, I couldn't help it, but we got it enough. Exciting.
I have a question. I guess it's for like Michael and like Graham Norton. So I didn't discover you until you were doing your Carbonaro effect, and it's very wholesome, and man on the street type of thing. And this is the first time I've seen this movie. I was like, oh my goodness. I'm sure you both probably get this, reaction. How do you react to it? How do you think about that? Like, this is like 18 years ago.
Yeah.
And you have gone to do other things,
Yeah.
more mainstream things. Even like Graham Norton, I never knew he was in this movie. And I'm like, I see him in a different light now.
I'll hear sometime, because I do I do live tours for like a family audience, but I'll still get people like at a meet and greet who like bring the DVD of this to like sign, and I love that like kind of I've had people who were who knew the movie but then forgot about it being me and saw my TV show, and then later were like, and then it dawned on me that was the guy from that movie, and so there's that. But for me when I stepped into doing this movie, I was like performing as a magician for like schools and assemblies and communions and christenings, and I had a big family following and presence, and I do have like a wholesome vibe for that kind of work. And I really thought, like, this might completely destroy any of that. And I remember I was like right at the edge, like, I'm gonna do this, and this might mean no turning back to that again. So I really had no idea if I was gonna be getting calls like, we're not hiring your magic show or schools anymore, And it didn't happen at all. And in fact, I remember one time I went and performed like an 8th grade graduation or something like that, and the school principal came up to me like after the show. This was before the TV show, but I was still like performing as a magician, and he was just like, "Hey, I saw your movie. It was really funny." And it was a real awesome thing to discover along the way. Yeah.
Sweet.
I'm kind of interested in, at the time, all of the supporting cast that they had hired and why. Like Richard Hatch, and I think it was the guy from Boy Meets Boy?
That's right.
I forget his name. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
James Getzlaff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was always a part of being able to have as many kind of queer icons in it. We did a sequel as well, and had, RuPaul is in that, playing a game show host for the first time before Drag Race. It was always a matter, there's porn stars and reality stars and all different realms, so we always wanted to have people, fill it out that represented the community in all of the different ways that we do.
Did you all pick up on since it's the director's cut, I knew the scene with Ming Stoll was put back in, but what else did you notice that I think there was a scene where the guy was jerking off and fingering himself, maybe that was kind of newer?
No,
was that in there?
Yeah.
With the full heart on and everything?
Yeah, full.
Oh.
You just could appreciate it now.
Yeah, you can. That. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some, there's a lot about the movie because it was done 18 years ago, and there's even like the sequence I remember that for the director's cut, Todd really toned down the Asian character and that stereotype, which was a weird kind of thing because that was spoofing the Asian character from 16 Candles, which was already wrong then, but it was kind of making a parody of that, which doesn't make it right, but then 18 years ago was a little different. And so some of that was kind of cut down a little bit. I know he worked with the actress there. They were even going to change the voice, and it was like the actress was like, "No, I really love that character and how I played it and everything." So I know he's being sensitive to some of that. There was a NAMBLA joke that got cut out, although you do see the remnants of the T-shirt in the very end of it. It's not much that was taken out. Just a couple of those. I think there were some like Asian character subtitles that were originally there for extra punch, which those got lifted, and then the Ming Stoll scene got put in, which still doesn't really work. I love Ming Stoll, and I do love the scene, but I see why it wasn't in it for. It's like totally different world, totally different tone. It like breaks the rhythm, and don't tell Todd I said anything. Oh my God, Jesus, what am I saying? This is I don't know why. I'm just.
I'll tell him.
You know it, you feel it too, and if you don't know Ming Stoll and you're trying to take this ride, like your families were like, "What is going on here?" It's a weird little separate planet in the movie, but we love seeing it because she's Ming Stoll.
Yeah.
I said too much.
What about how are things with like Jonathan and Mitch now? You guys,
They're still together. 18 years, 18 strong years. No, Mitch, who played Griff, he became a teacher, he became a lawyer, and also an author. He's kind of continuing on with his career and now helps create bigger budgets for films.
Yeah.
And helps in that regard. And Jonathan is still acting, but just is a new father over the last.
He's a new father.
Yeah, he's a new father.
He didn't get a new father.
Yeah. Yeah.
We celebrated this movie 2 years ago when we went to Austin. It was the first time that all 4 of us got to see the movie together. So that was really special. So
yeah.
I was like.
At that time, it was really difficult for people. After the film was made, Jonathan wasn't able to.
Jared the Jock.
Jared the Jock. He wasn't able to. His agent said, "Don't support this movie."
they didn't like the cut. They wanted to take some stuff out. He kind of listened to them, and then
Yeah, and that was a big part of Hollywood, certainly 18 years ago, with what was okay, what isn't okay, what's going to hurt your career or not, and that was hard for him. But we did get to have a great reunion, and all of us guys get to enjoy it together, which was awesome. Yeah.
I remember we screened this 18 years ago at FilmOut, like I told you guys, on 35 millimeter.
Yeah.
And then the film pretty much got I think it was maybe a limited regional release nationwide, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it did really well, and I think that's why it spawned how many sequels, Jonah?
Just one sequel, just one sequel.
Oh, I thought there were more.
Yeah. No, just one. There was another series called Eating Out, which came out a couple of years later and kind of tried to, and they did like 4 or 5 of those, but a different type of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's it filmed? The houses were beautiful.
Yeah, the Eichler houses. We shot it in San Fernando Valley.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, Los Angeles. Yeah, mostly there. And then again, a little pickup in New York, but mostly here in
They
LA.
didn't seem like budget houses, that's why I was if you're on a tight budget, those are gorgeous.
I know, already,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Todd, that was such a character in the film. Obviously, it's so stylized, it's so candy colored, and everything was popping. And I think really the team that was connected from obviously the outfits and the whole look and the production design, everything was just so blown out, and everyone really was on board for that, which was awesome. So it made this little indie film.
It was a super incredible family. Everybody who was involved, like the production designer, the cinematographer, everyone who was involved in the movie, got the joke, and we were all just trying to get the best out of it we possibly could. I've never had another experience like that in anything. It was very, very special. That's why we got so much out of a very small budget and a little bit of time.
Why did you get Nancy Sinatra to sing the song?
Yeah, Todd asked Nancy Sinatra if she would sing the title song, and she said yes. I mean, go figure. I don't know if he knows. I don't know if he knows if she had even read the script. But she did the song, and we have Nancy Sinatra in the film. It's crazy.
I have a quick question.
One more in the back.
I'm sorry. On that scene with Scott Thompson in the men's restroom.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Because that just looked like genius. Like when you were saying that I love you, how many takes did that take? Because that just looked really
yeah. The Scott Thompson and my dad scene outside after the poke in the eye through the floor. What movie? There's a movie that was spoofing too. Does anybody know? I forgot what.
What'd you say?
There was
Something of Swedish thing?
Scary movie. Oh, Sweetest
No,
Thing.
before.
Swedish thing?
This was before.
Cameron Diaz one?
No, I meant just the Letterman jacket guy. in the
Sweetest
restaurant.
Thing.
Sweetest Thing. Yeah. Anyway, it came out. That was one of the things that I remember being one of those cool shining moments where Todd, the director, he just let us play, and it didn't come out of anywhere. To answer your question, it was just my little heart was beating. I was like, oh my god, I have to hold my own in front of Scott Thompson, and what's this scene gonna be like? And I don't know. We just played, and and it just jived, and it was a really magical improvisational moment. And I think that was. I don't think we did more than one take for that. That was what that was. Yeah. Just special chemistry and panic, I guess.
Was there one more in the back?
I don't have hand raised. Go ahead.
Who is your guys' favorite character in the movie other than Ralph?
Who is our favorite character in the movie?
Other than your own.
Other than our own. I guess that would be my own.
When I read the script, I wanted to read for the Nico part.
Yeah, and I wanted to do Andy's.
And I actually had no idea when they were they want you to read for Andy. I'm like, me? For the Andy character? And I was just picturing a redhead, wholesome cereal boy. I didn't see it at all. And I was like, all right. So I read it, acted it, did it, and then when it all came together, I was like, oh yeah, I get it. I don't know, so you have to trust them sometimes. But no, I kind of liked the Nico character, which I did. He did so much with it though, for what it was in the script, like with all the different like chameleon shells that he was. That wasn't in the story like that. Nico, I think, was originally a little more goth, like the black eyeliner kind of guy, and then you just did that for one phase of that character.
And I mean, I would have to say, Andy. I mean, I love Michael so much. We became such good brothers through this whole process, and you know, God bless you. And you and Graham. I mean,
so fun.
It's like crazy. Those nipples.
It's hard to watch it.
All right, we'll wrap it up there, everybody. Thank you once again, Jonah and Michael. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you on the 12th through 15th for our 24th Annual Film Festival. Have a happy Pride.